and then there was 4. Alright guys, so now we're getting down to the nitty gritty of this top 10 list. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of frustrated right now. Because I had 2 albums that kind of bumped heads. It was either gonna be this Ghetto Boys album or Scarface, The Diary. I had to think about it. As much as I want The Diary on this list and in the top 5. And I know it's a top 5 album, right? I had to choose one. I went with Ghetto Boys, and I'm about to explain why. I'm so glad I'm finally getting a chance to do this, man, because I love music with a passion. You know what I'm saying? I'm a rapper myself, as some of y'all may know. And I grew up in an era where you had to actually have talent. Like, you had to be able to spit bars for real. Early on, like, when I was young, when I was a kid growing up in the 80s, you know, everything that you saw on TV was pretty much like East Coast artists. You know what I'm saying? Then you had your few West Coast artists. You had NWA coming out at that time, Too Short, MCA, couple of artists from the West Coast that was blowing on to the scene, of course, Cube. But you would see like a heavy East Coast presence. And I'm gonna be honest with you, when we was a kid, we didn't even see it like that. I mean, it was just, but we knew that those people were from New York. That was clear. It wasn't until the Ghetto Boys blew onto the scene and became and got on my radar that I could even fathom that somebody from the South could be a big time record artist. Cause like I say, man, that's all we seen was like LL Cool J's and KRS-One, Boogie Down Productions, Rob Bass. Like, these all East Coast acts, New York acts, and you know, like I said, we ain't never see nobody from the South. So I thank God that these Texas boys kicked that door open, because they was what the game needed, man. Ghetto Boys was a mixture of NWA and Public Enemy. You know what I mean? And that's a powerful combination. And they poured that shit off beautifully. Scarface to this day is respected and looked at as one of the top 5 greatest MCs of all time. On plenty of consensus lists, the consensus say that Scarface is one of the top 5 greatest MCs of all time. Willie D, I mean, the man did his job, man. He handled his business on and off the microphone. Bushwick Bill, super underrated. Rest in peace to Bill, man. Rest in peace to Bill. Bill was super underrated. I'm talking about dope lyricist, great voice. Bill was one of the first ones to really give that horrorcore type of hip hop. And if you go back and listen to Bill, man, it's really fun to listen to him, because like, he's sadistic as fuck. I mean, yeah, he talking about chopping motherfuckers up and kidnapping motherfuckers and raping motherfuckers. So, but just for shock value, if you love the differences in hip hop, man, you're gonna respect it and you're gonna appreciate it. So like I say, man, rest in peace to Bill. Bill was a very underrated MC. And also, Bill was a part of the original Ghetto Boys. I don't know if a lot of y'all know. Willie D, Scarface wasn't in the original Ghetto Boys. The original Ghetto Boys were Ready Red, Bushwick. It was a couple more cats too. I can't even think of their name right now, but that was the original Ghetto Boys. They had an album called Making Trouble, and they sounded a lot like Run DMC. They sounded a lot like a gangster version of Run DMC. But if you get a chance, go back and listen to Making Trouble by the original Ghetto Boys. That shit was hard. The dude name was Sire Jukebox and Prince Johnny C. That's who it was. So it was Sire Jukebox, Prince Johnny C, Bushwick Bill, and Ready Red. We Can't Be Stopped was an epic album, the most successful album they had to date. had one of the most legendary singles of all time, which was Mind Playing Tricks on Me. I mean, what can we say, man? That joint was just another level, homie. And to this day, that's still one of the biggest records in hip hop, not just the South, bro. Man, you put that shit on right now, bro. I sit in the corner staring at candles. You know what I'm saying? You put that shit on right now, everybody gonna know what time it is. So I just wanna salute the Ghetto Boys, man, because this was an epic album, dog. It had a lot of great hits on it. A lot of shit. That Chucky by Bushwick. That I'm Not a Gentleman by Willie D. Gotta Let Your Nuts Hang by Face. This was also the first time that they was kind of showing that they all had the ability to be solo artists. Fuck a War, I liked that. Quickie, Trophy, all them joints. Them was some great joints, man. So yeah, man, I'm definitely all in on the Ghetto Boys being the number 4 album of the greatest hip hop, the greatest Dirty South albums of the 90s. Ghetto Boys at number 4. We the top 3, motherfucker. Alright. The South ain't the South without these two. Two of the most influential MCs to ever grace a microphone in this game. 8 Ball and MJG, pure legends. On the sidebar, I actually got a chance to meet Ball in ATL. I had an opportunity to rap for him, and he showed me love, bro. You know what I mean? He was building this company, 8 Ways Entertainment at the time, and I was able to go down. They had me with a cat named Dewey, and I just remember Ball being back and forth to New York a lot, because I think he was working on I know he was working on a deal with Diddy at the time to sign with Bad Boy, and I actually was telling cats that early that was gonna happen. But yeah, though, definitely got a chance to meet Ball and spit my bars for him, and it was just a legendary moment, because this was somebody I looked up to in the utmost respect. But Ball and JG greatness, and they place on this top 10 list, it's just not to be tampered with. You know what I mean? They deserve it. They earned it. I'm not mad at somebody if they got them number 1 on their list. See, that's the thing about this. I started this I created this to start a debate, right? I want to see what everybody's list look like. I want to see what my friends' list look like. And I want to see the random people that I don't know. I want to see what your list look like, and just debate on that. But I don't want to see no list without 8 Ball MJG on it, especially when it's in regards to the South. And this is the top 10 greatest Southern albums of the 90s. And you can't do this list without having these brothers, man. And Coming Out Hard was a complete classic. It was released in 1993. It just had a ton of bangers on there, bro. 9 Little Millimeter Boys. It's got Armed Robbery. Shit. One of the hardest joints ever to me is Pimps. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Coming Out Hard. It's just a classic, man. It's just one of the great albums to ever come through the region. Ball is amazing at what he do. MJG, one of the greatest MCs ever. I don't give a fuck what coast you talking about. Ball, honestly, man. See, let me tell y'all something. I'm doing a top 10, but this may need to really do justice. You may have to do a top 20. And even if you number 20 on the top 20, it's still like being in the top 10. You know what I mean? Because the 20th best album in this for this region at this time was still like better than most of the shit in the world. So it was hard to do 10, dog, because 8 Ball's solo album, Lost, could have been on here. But right now we talking about Coming Out Hard. Coming Out Hard, it peaked at number 40 on the Billboards, which was awesome because they was a super independent at that time. I mean, Suave House wasn't even on the map when they dropped this. They was a complete independent label at this time. So for them to peak at 40 on the Billboards let you know that they was making some noise. But what more can I say, man? A great album, a must-have album. Go back, rediscover it. If you haven't heard it in a while, if you never heard it, go check it out. Coming Out Hard, man. My childhood was beautiful. All right, folks, we coming to the end. We have the number 2 album. All right, mama. There go them men. There go them boys right there. The cast, baby. The cast, man. You know we got to do it, man. These some real kings right here, homie. These some real kings, dog. We ain't even gotta talk about chart position. We ain't gotta talk about record sales, cause we know what they did. And we ain't talking about just in the South. We talking about all over the world. These dudes went beyond just a rap act. These dudes became an international pop star. And they didn't go pop, but they just became a mainstay in mainstream society. Outkast, man. And this album right here, Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music. Come on, bro. This was the one right here, homie. I love AT Aliens. And AT Aliens could be on this list. It actually was on this list. I had to revise it. I went with Southern Player because it was the introduction, man. It was the here we come. You know what I mean? It's something about when a new artist blow onto the scene. At least back then. It's different these days because a lot of these artists are like microwave artists, man. They here one day, gone the next. But back in our time, when an artist or a group blew onto the scene, if they was about something, you could feel it. And you definitely could feel it with Outkast and with this album. Man, this album come on so funky, man, with the sexy sound of Miss Peaches speaking over that player jazz. This was my introduction to Atlanta, to be honest. You know what I mean? It's a place that will become my home for 13 years later in life. But until these cats drop, I ain't know shit about Atlanta except the Braves, the Hawks, Ted Turner, and the Falcons. I remember Rap City dropping that video for Players Ball. I remember them dropping that video for the Players Ball for the first time. And just how epic it felt seeing these dudes and not even knowing who they was. I was like, damn, who these cats is? I just remember that feeling, man. I remember Dre being in that Braves jersey, and I was like, damn, that Braves jersey, fresh as hell. Cause when we was kids, that's all we was into. You know what I mean? Like jerseys, Jordans and shit like that. And so I just remember them dudes being so smooth with it that you couldn't help but to want to hear more from them. So yeah, man, there's nothing that you can say. Some things are undebatable. So Outkast on this list, undebatable. Outkast in the top 3, undebatable. Has to be. This album has so many great songs on it, man. Whether it's Players Ball, My Intro to Let You Know, Ain't No Thing, Claiming True. Shit, Funky Ride. I used to love playing that damn joint. I actually looped that beat and used to rap over that beat. So then I'm finna hit you with a nut. This album introduced us to Goody Mob, man. Come on, man. Get up, get out, and get something. You know what I'm saying? So you got that joint. You got Crumbling Herb. This was just a great album, bro. And like I say, AT Aliens was supposed to be on this list, but I could only choose one. So I went with Southern Player. If you want to go with AT Aliens, that's fine. I went with Southern Player because it's just an album that had a profound effect on me. So like I say, I ain't speaking on chart position because we know that them boys, they had the success. So I ain't got to speak on, you know, their numbers. Outkast, man, one of the greatest duos of all time. You know what I mean? One of the greatest duos of all time. One of the most eclectic, dopest, funkiest groups that we ever had. And I just want to say, man, the South, man, we blessed, man, when it comes to the music shit. You know what I mean? Y'all, they can hate on us all they want to. But the one thing about us, we don't need nobody else's music. We gonna listen to our shit. And Outkast gonna forever be some kings to us, man. So much love to Dre and Big Boy, man. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Alright, family. We finally here. The #1 album of the 90s. Dirty South. #1 Dirty South album of the 90s. None other than UGK. The Underground Kings. Hey, I'm telling you right now, if you feel different, we can box. Meet me on the side of the building. Gloves on and we can box. Yeah. But nah, all jokes aside, man. Hey, these my guys right here, homie. These my guys, man. And I'm qualified, bro. I'm qualified to do this. You know what I'm saying? Been in this game a long time. Been in the rap game a long time. Been an MC a long time. I done made money off of rapping. So I know what it takes to build a great album. I ain't never built no hit album, but as an artist, it's just like if you play basketball, if you play college ball, you might not be the greatest player. You still know what the greatest player had to put in to be the greatest player. Alright? So as an MC, as a rapper from the South, I know what it took for these boys to create these masterpieces, man. Pimp C was a great producer as well as a MC and a writer. Bun B was a lyricist, man. A lyricist, man. You dig what I'm saying? Like, y'all can talk all these other markets, these other coasts about lyrical ability, but Bun B will carve up any of them. He could have stepped to the best of them. So Bun and Pimp was a match made in heaven, man. And again, these are two artists that I got a chance to encounter in real life.
Tracks.net.
I opened up for them at the spring show back in '98 at Alcorn State University. It's about 15,000 people in that place or something like that, like 12,000 or something like that. And I opened up for them, and one of the most incredible experiences of my life. Shout out to my homeboy Chopper Chief. His mom used to make that possible. But we got to perform, and afterwards, I was just on my grind, because I think the year before was the year we performed for the High Boys. We opened up for the High Boys. And I remember missing out on the opportunity, and I said the next year if I get a chance, I wasn't gonna miss it. So soon as the show was coming to an end, I went found Pimp and Bun. So at that time I was with my group I Choke, and I bought them cats to the show. And so we went backstage, ended up bumping into Pimp and Bun, and they showed us love, man. I remember them letting us stand outside their Range Rover and rap over a beat. All we had was an instrumental on a beat. I think it was one of them beats Cole had made, that Mozart beat. And we rapped Adversaries on My Chest and a couple more verses. We rapped over the instrumental to them, and they showed us love, dog. Even so much, Pimp told his road manager to get our information. Make sure and I remember him looking at the guy and was like, man, make sure you get these guys' information so we can get in contact with them. And I remember the road manager was like, y'all come with me. And we was walking with him. And bro went into the room, come back out. Next thing I know, bro was running back out the door. I don't know what had happened, but he jumped in his whip and he smashed out. And we was like, damn. So that's just the way that went. But with that said, UGK, greatest album of the 90s. Greatest album of the 90s in the Dirty South. This Riding Dirty was just epic, homie. It was just epic on whole other levels, you know what I mean? I say this one for last because I feel like, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying, it was their best album. And I love Super Tight, but Riding Dirty just came through and changed the game, man. The production was flawless, the wordplay was superb. Pimp voice was like melted butter over the track, man. Bun was like showing the world like a Southern MC could be a dope MC, you know? And this shit just was just dope, brother. You know what I mean? The album started off with Smoke D on the intro, then go right into the epic One Day by the Ron Eyes that sounded like Ronnie Spencer, who was a major player on the Houston scene for a lot of hooks and stuff like that. And on that One Day, man, we got the player 3-2, man, the Governor. Rest in peace to the Governor. He was a major player on the Houston scene, on the Houston hip hop scene. It's just some hard joints on there, man. One Day, Murderer, nigga. If I told you concrete numbers, you would think I would lie. Young ass nigga 22 and talking about they retire. You know what I'm saying? Bill was spit that shit. And then Bun was just going in. Well, it's Bun Beat, bitch, and I'm the king of moving chickens, not the finger licking. Sticking niggas that be tricking, you need a swift kicking. That boy Bundy wasn't playing with him, man. Diamonds up against that wood. What can I say, bro? That was like the Southern anthem without being an anthem. It was like the joint that if you had a Cutlass Monte Carlo, a Regal, you had a box Chevy, you was swinging, and you was listening to that chopped and screwed or regular. You really ain't had to chop and screw because it felt chopped and screwed already. So man, come on, man. This album was spiritual for niggas like me, man. You know what I mean? You know, Riding Dirty is spiritual for a nigga like me, homie. And it's truly one of the greatest albums of all time over all markets. Whether we talking just all coasts on hip hop, to me it'll be one of the greatest albums of all time. But definitely in the South, and we talking just the 90s, it's the #1 album of the Dirty South for the 90s. And that's my piece, and I'm sticking to that. Hey, it's been fun, y'all, man. It's been cool. This shit took me 2-3 days to do. Right now it's 4:02 a.m. I'm sure my wife probably pissed off at me because I've been up in the room all day trying to put this together. But I really do hope y'all appreciate it, man. I do this for cats that love the music. I do this for people that come from my era. And I hope y'all appreciate it. Feel free to challenge me, debate me on the top 10, the 10 that I pick. Please, man, share your 10 with me. Let me know what your 10. It was a lot of people that I had to leave out, man. It was a lot of great albums that got left out, man. Tila, Mr. Mike, South Circle, 3-6 Mafia, and I'm gonna be honest with you, 3-6 couldn't be in my top 10. I mean, they iconic as shit, but at that time, niggas wasn't really fucking with 3-6. Like, I know they had fans, but if you listen to 3-6 in the 90s, motherfuckers looked at you crazy. Them niggas was on some devil worship and shit. So, but I know some people out there gonna feel like 3-6 should have been on the list, but some people was huge 3-6 Player Fly fans, stuff like that. But it was not easy to make this list. So just know it was some great albums that got left off, but we'll do it again, man. Maybe next time I'll just do my favorites, and I won't let none of the politics get involved. I'll just pick my top 10 favorites. But right now, this is my top 10 Dirty South 90s albums, and hope to hear from y'all. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. Unique Perspective Podcast. It's your boy Kutta Kutta, and I'm out.